So the first of these collaborative workflows, I'm calling the centralized workflow. It's not really an official name or anything, but I'm telling you now, it is the weakest. It's the worst of these workflows for collaborating. And the reason I'm showing it to you is that the shortcomings of the centralized workflow are addressed by the other workflows that we're going to discuss. So we're kind of motivating the more complicated workflows, but we're starting with the simplest. So I'm calling it the centralized workflow, aka everyone works on the master branch, or everyone works on the main branch, or everyone works on some single branch. So that's why it's super easy. It's centralized because all the work is done on a single branch. Whatever that branch is, historically that would just be the master branch, a default, but it could be any branch. So it's straightforward, right? We don't have to worry about pushing up a whole bunch of different branches and pulling them down and merging different branches. We just work with one branch. So I have some diagrams that I'm going to be using throughout this section. They all kind of follow the same pattern. Up top, we have 3 different collaborators: Pamela, David, and Forrest. And I'm highlighting one of them to indicate whose repository we're looking at on their local machine versus up top in the right corner. This is the GitHub repository that all 3 are using. So this is the same repo on GitHub for everyone, but then we have 3 different local repositories, but they're all connected to that same GitHub repo. And I have similar diagrams for the other workflows, the same characters, the same format. So with this centralized workflow, everybody clones the same repository. So this is our starting point, just one commit. So Pamela clones it down, right? There's the master branch or the main branch, whatever we want to name it. It's the same branch. So David clones it. He gets that default branch master. Forrest clones the same GitHub repo, and he has it. So now they get to work. Forrest, this guy here with the mustache, spends his day adding and committing. He's working on some new feature. He has 2 new commits. So this is what he started with here. He has 2 new commits worth of work on the master branch. So he wants to share that with everyone, right? He pushes that up. So you can see those new commits. There's now 3 total commits on GitHub. During this same period where Forrest was working and he pushed his code up, Pamela has also been hard at work on her own feature all day. So that yellow commit is Pamela's new work. Okay, so as she's been working, Forrest already pushed some code up. Pamela now wants to share her code with everyone. So she wants to push it up. So she tries it, git push origin master, but she's not allowed to. Why? Well, she gets this message, failed to push. Updates were rejected because the tip of your current branch is behind its remote counterpart. Merge the remote changes, git pull, before pushing again. So Git is telling her, I can't do that. There are changes that you don't have on GitHub. You need to get those changes and merge yours with those changes, and then you can push back up. So already we hit a roadblock, right? Just for Pamela to push her code up, she has to pull down everything that her other collaborators have pushed up. They're all working on the same branch. So she does that. She pulls down, she gets the changes that Forrest had pushed from on the master branch from GitHub. Then she merges her work in, and hopefully that goes smoothly. There might be a bunch of conflicts, maybe not, but she has to do it. And then she can push back up. So now there are 4 commits up on GitHub, or more, but a minimum of 4, although I didn't really include, there would be a merge commit here. So let's say 5, but whatever it is, she pushes up her new commits and she's good to go, right? That's her part done for the day. Now, during all of this, poor David has been working on a new feature, but he's been having some doubts. It's not working. He's really like halfway done. He's deleted a bunch of important files. He's commented out some code. Things are broken. So he wants to get some input, some advice from his collaborators. He wants to start a discussion, and he wants them to see the code. They're not working in an office together. So he has this work, and he has some commits indicated by this meh face. This, I guess, I would call it a meh face or a neutral face. I don't know. Anyway, he's not happy with it, but he makes a commit, and if we're using this centralized workflow, one branch. So he's just working on the master branch. So in order for him to share this, he can't just push it up because, as we saw, Pamela earlier tried, and Git said, no way, you can't do that. You've got to pull down, get the changes, then merge, and then you can push. So that's what he does. Before he can even share this mediocre, unfinished, broken code, he has to first pull down, get all the new changes, and merge his broken stuff in, his incomplete feature. He has to merge that in with the rest of the work everyone else has done on the master branch. Then he can push that up. And now everyone can go and pull his work down. And he broke the code base, probably. If this is incomplete, everybody now has that incomplete code. And that's really frustrating and problematic. All he wanted to do is get some input and have some of his collaborators, take a look at his work. But to do that with this workflow, he had to wreck the master branch, the one and only branch. So hopefully the problem is clear with those diagrams. It's simple. You don't have to think about where you're working if you're only working on one branch, but there are some serious issues, some shortcomings. First of all, every person has to spend a ton of time resolving conflicts or at least merging code, especially as team size scales up. Imagine you're working with, let's say, 10 developers, and at the end of the day, everybody makes a bunch of commits, they push them up. Well, for each one of those developers to make those commits and push them up, they first have to pull down everyone else's work just to merge their stuff in. So it's a lot of merging and potential conflicts, even if work is not entirely finished. So that brings me to the next piece. No one can work on anything without disturbing the main code base. How do you try some radical experiment? How do you try removing files and commenting things out, trying to fix some crazy, difficult bug if you have to work on the master branch? How do you experiment? And that brings us to the last piece. There's no way to really collaborate on anything unless you push incomplete code up to master. And now all your other teammates have incomplete or broken code, which is what happened here in our final scenario. Is this David? Yes, David wanted some help. He wanted to collaborate with, let's say, Pamela. For her to get that code, he had to add stuff onto master that's broken, push that up, and now the whole code base is broken, at least at the tip of the master branch. Everyone else comes to work the next morning, they get the most recent changes. Oh, things are broken for everyone. So not a good workflow. It can be manageable if you're a very tiny team and you're not doing anything experimental. Even then, I wouldn't really recommend it, but it is an option. So that really serves to highlight the problems with working on one branch, which now motivates us to talk about workflows that involve multiple branches. That's coming up. In the next video, I want to demonstrate some of these problems for real using a GitHub repo.